Hey guys, welcome back to Tutorial Tuesday. So, I know that I've already talked about backgrounds before, but I'd like to get a little bit more in depth into backgrounds. So basically, this illustration is a future speed paint. It's not happening this week, it's not happening next week, but it will be happening in the future. The goal of this one was to create a city for the background, and I didn't like what I originally started off doing, and I felt like I needed to show you where I was starting off, because seeing me make mistakes, I think, might help you guys understand that I don't always know exactly what I'm doing, and that it's okay not to know exactly what you're doing. I'm learning, you're learning, and so it's okay. It's okay to have to figure things out. So my idea with this one was they were supposed to, Delirium and Delirious were fighting, and they were supposed to be in the middle of the street. Well, I later on scratched that out and didn't like the way it looked. So I changed that, and it turned out much better from what I changed it to. If you don't like the way something looks, change it. I know that I say that sometimes you can't judge your work because you're already working on it. It's a work in progress. It's not going to look pretty, but the thing is also you will know. You'll get to a certain point, you'll be like, "Oh, ugh. No." And because of how I do my backgrounds and how I just go about drawing, yeah, that helps me decide, ugh, I don't like it. So, I was able to determine that I really didn't like the original thought process of this creation, and I went and erased everything. So basically, I went with a normal perspective view, and I created using my ruler tool, which you can go into view and select rulers, and you can have your ruler set up, and then you can drag down from click and drag from the rulers, and you'll get a guideline. And that's what I did, was to get a horizontal and a vertical line. So the idea I came up with next was that I wanted to have them in an alleyway. And it's okay to Google things and to figure it out, and go from there. I had to do it as you just saw. See what I mean? So I'm doing something I hadn't done before, and I feel like this process was a good enough process to establish with you guys. Again, like I said before, if you're doing outdoors, don't think of geometric shape. And what I meant by outdoors was I was meaning more so nature. Don't think of geometric shapes when you're thinking of nature. Think of geometric shapes when you're thinking of man-made or indoors. Because we have tables, we got chairs, we have shelves, we have doors, we have walls, and those are geometric shapes. And then the buildings are a geometric shape. Always think geometric shapes when you're thinking of something man-made, like the cities. The roads. Think of geometric shapes then. I would use the shape tool and create things there. Like how with the railing, I either used the rectangular tool or the line tool and just made a 5-inch line. And because my projects are always worked 2 in inches, you go and you have to work in either pixels, which are larger, or in inches, which are smaller. There is a difference. Pixels are, I believe, 60 times smaller than an inch. I'm not 100% certain. I try to think of it like they're centimeters, but pixels and centimeters are 2 different measurements as well. And then, of course, whenever you think of a city, I try to do as much detail as possible with my backgrounds already, but with a city, I'm trying to make sure that you know for a fact, hey, they're in some back alleyway that's, somebody's taking it up the ass. Will you shut the fuck up already? Nobody wants to hear your bullshit.
Fuck you, asshole.
Then don't be a little bitch. Anyways, and then it's okay to copy and paste. It's okay to do that. Trust me. I copy and paste all the fucking time, and that is the best way to get a more symmetrical look.
You sure about that?
I said be quiet. And to just establish that these were apartment buildings, I had to add the scaffolding and the emergency fire exits. So the ladders and the little balconies. I'm not from the city. I haven't lived in the city in a long time. So then also to add texture, I actually did go, I've established this before, I went out into the front yard and stood out in the street. I don't live on a busy street, thank the Lord for that. And I took a picture of the blacktop. And so then I put like a white or a gray or a black layer over it, turn the fill down as needed, and then I have these pebbles that are this color. So then I turned the opacity down on the pebbles whenever I was creating these bricks, and I went from there. The lines that I'm using right now for the walls, they were just guidelines to tell me, hey, this is around where I'm going to be doing things. They weren't established because I rarely ever have lines in my background that are just notable, like the black lines, or how I have my people set up, my subjects, how I illustrate them with the lines where they're the same color as what their flat is, except darker.
Racist.
Seriously, what's so racist about that? It's a wall, damn it!
Hey, I'm just saying what everybody else is thinking.
You know, if it wasn't frowned upon in all 50 states, I would kill you. But guess what? It's frowned upon and I don't want to go to jail. So, I gotta deal with your ass somehow. Anyways, before I was so rudely interrupted, let's go carry on. But I had to actually go through these because I made the spacing so small and I had to film individually. Usually I will use the fill button, like the fill bucket, but I had to actually use the brush tool. Sometimes you don't get that luxury. So, and then of course it's every fucking one and it's irritating and annoying. But it is what it is and it is what you need it to be. So again, the scaffolding was one thing, and that was a major deal for me because, well, see how long I spent doing it? And then next was police car. So because I felt like they needed to be caught in action of killing each other or something, make it epic, I had to figure out a story for this. Basically, your background is a part of a story, just like your subject is. And again, geometric shapes. I went in and I erased what I needed to, and I constantly went back and forth between the two, the original photo and this, just to figure out what I'm doing. So geometric shapes, always think geometric shapes. I know that cars aren't necessarily sharp geometric shapes like how we have our geometric shapes set on here, but you do that and then you kind of round it out. You can manually round them out. It's not that hard.
I mean, maybe it's really hard for some people because they're not the brightest in the bunch.
Okay, that's it. Go stand in the fucking corner. You're done talking. There is no reason for you to mock my viewers. Get out of here. Sorry about that. Anyways, as I was saying, detail. Detail is everything. I didn't get very far with this project. I'm still working on it, obviously. And working on other projects as well. So this one is put on hold. So as far as I've gotten, I'm not sure right now. I haven't seen all of it, but I got pretty far. I think I was pretty much almost done with the backgrounds. So, and then of course, like I said, detail is everything. So you add in your type if you have type on anything, all of that. And then of course you color everything you need to. Again, you don't have to have these black lines. You can do what I did initially and just use them as a guide. As a guide to tell you exactly how you're doing everything. And of course, I did a moon in a different project for a stream, and I really like the look of it, so I tried to mimic that for this. Because it looked nice, and I liked it. So why not have it? And then, of course, the gradients in the background, and then I had a black filter, so that way it will, like, I had it, underneath there was a darker color, so the gradients was turned down on the fill, so in that way it looked darker than what it is. Buildings, geometric shapes, again, add as much detail as you want. It probably won't matter, but it's, like, people probably won't notice it, but it looks so good. Okay, so one thing I learned in college was the closer an object is in distance, the darker it should be. The farther out, the lighter it should get. So I usually don't apply this to most of my work, but I did this time because I felt like it was kind of something I should do again. I haven't done it since college, so one of my college assignments. I don't have it. I wish I did. It was so cool too. I had flying carrots. I'm not gonna lie, I had flying carrots on my project, and it was an accident. Lights. Okay, so real quick, somebody had actually said something about their system not having a illumination tool, and you don't need a illumination tool. Let me just tell you that now. What you can do is you can blur out, you can make 2 layers of this color, blur out one of them, that way it's kind of like all fuzzy on the edges, and that's basically what Gaussian blur does. You will probably have a blur tool to use that, and that's what you can be doing to make an illumination. That's what I'll end up doing with the light for the police car. But basically, this is what it looks like, and it looks pretty good. It's pretty decent. The buildings need to be shaded, and there needs to be some extra lines on the buildings to emphasize windows. So that's something I will be doing. I haven't gotten to that just yet, and I was running out of time, so there's that. But this is also a little bit of a sneak peek for you guys to see an upcoming project that you guys will more than likely see in November or early December. But yeah, again, if you have to go and have textures, which I love to have, go and either make your own. You can. It's really easy. I showed you guys how to make the wooden textures before. Or you can do what I did and stand in the middle of the road and take a picture of the blacktop. Don't get hit by cars, kids. Anyways, you guys have a good one, and I will see y'all Friday. And also, in other news about Saturday's stream, I have work during the afternoon, which I never have, but I do. So this might sound like I'm ranting, but this is actually for you guys. I'm scheduled until 4 p.m. So my time, Central Time. So the stream will either be at 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I believe 4 Western. I'm not sure, and you guys, if you're in the Europeans, you'll have to do the math there. I don't have it off the top of my head, but around there, or 5:30 my time. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope that that's not too much of a bother for Saturday's stream. But yeah, I will see y'all next time.